What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video with your girl Ash Got Cash. I know that was probably a little bit weird, but thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every time each and every single one of you, wherever you live in the world, are tuning in. And so yeah, as you guys can tell in the title, this video is going to be about how I dropped 6 seconds in less than 2 months in hurdles. So if you guys don't know, my name is Ashley Fields. I'm a hurdler from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I started hurdling my senior year, which of course is pretty late because hurdling is an extremely technical event. I basically started off trying to do short hurdles, but like that was very hard to pick up in the short amount of time that I had. So my coach and I had a talk, and we basically decided that I would be doing the long hurdles. So I did 300 hurdles, and of course this video is going to include race footage, which I think is extremely important, and I'm going to do another video on how important film is when it comes to decreasing your time. I'm sorry if I'm like stuttering because I have my retainer in. But yeah, so I just want to get into the video, and right now I'm going to insert my first race clip, which I am totally watching right here on my computer, if you guys can see. So I'm going to be looking down a little bit. As we look at the first clip, like the first thing I noticed was that first hurdle. Like, y'all, I swear to God, that first hurdle would get me every time, but it's because I was definitely like accelerating towards the first hurdle, which I would say was like a great thing to do, but it definitely scared me. And like as I continued doing hurdles, I let like a little bit of my fear creep up on me, which kind of like slowed my time down from running as fast as I could, like because when you're running hurdles you cannot be scared. So in this first race, I do believe I ran like 51 seconds, and this is 300 hurdles. And so yeah, my first race, I kind of got scared at the end because I'm not gonna cap, like I was not one of them runners that like came from running 400s. Like I did run track for like 4 years, but like did I really run track? Because I was like BS and everything. Like I wouldn't really run when I went to practice and other stuff like that. But like my senior year, I was like, whoa, like this could be the last time I run for real. So like I need to give it everything that I have. So like if you see me die in this first race, that's why. Please don't laugh at me or like judge me or anything like that, because I did not know what I was getting myself into. But I'm so glad that I started hurdling. So if any of you guys are new to hurdling, like I definitely suggest that you continue doing it, and like put your effort into it, continue giving it your all. And yeah, let's move on to this second race. Oh my goodness, the sound is up, and I don't need that to be up because it's already going to be up on the video. So yeah, as you guys can see, like I move in the first 100 meters of the race, and that's something that I think definitely gave me an edge or an advantage. And then I think for me, one of the things that I mainly needed to work on was keeping that when I came off the last curve. And also like I think sometimes when you're running by yourself, if not for you, I know at least for me that like when I'm running by myself, I sort of like get a little bit complacent. I'm like, okay, I'm winning, you know, I got this. It's all about the win. But it's not about the win, it's about the time. So think about that as you're running as well. Don't run against other people in your race, but run for time. Run for knowing that you are there to improve whatever your PR is, and don't be worried about anyone else. And that's the thing that I really think gave me the key to dropping all of these seconds. When I ran my fastest race, I wasn't worried about who was next to me on the left, who was next to me on the right, what time they had, where they were going, what they were doing. I was focused completely and totally on my race. And so that's one thing that I also think helped me drop so many seconds. Also, like as the weather started getting hotter and AAU meets and USATF meets started gearing up, they started doing 400-meter hurdles. So the next race that I'm going to include is my 400-meter hurdle race for the first time ever, y'all. Like, I get so sentimental looking back on these videos because like it was a very special time for me because it was so new and I was doing it so late in the game, but still like I was A1. We're gonna get more into why later on in the video, but as you guys can see in this 400 hurdle video, I got out, but like my technique started getting a little bit bad, which is why I think I had that extreme, like I had a little bump up in time before I went down, which is completely normal. So if you see your times rising a little bit, sometimes, not all the times, it does mean that your time is like really about to come down. You're really about to show a lot of improvement because your body is beginning to understand and mold to the training style that it is accustomed to. So in this race, I did get out, but my hurdle style is just like my arms are everywhere. That's another big thing that I think got me a lot of time. When you look at the professional people who are running, who are racing, especially Dalilah Muhammad, their arms are tight, their arms are in, especially in a long race like 400 hurdles. You want to make sure that you're conserving energy, pumping those arms and keeping them tight when you're going over the hurdle. You want to bring them up and down, straight back and forth, so that every movement is propelling you forward. I used to talk to this man at school. He wasn't even a track coach, but he did run track in college, and he told me every movement counts when you're in a long race like that. Back then, 300 hurdles was a long race for me, y'all, because again, I'm telling you you guys, I did not come from running these long behind races. I didn't have a lot of endurance. So also I would say, like, as I continued running 300s, as I continued running 400s, I like gained a lot of endurance, which made me stronger every single race. Also because I was giving it my all, guys. You cannot be afraid to go out there and give it your all and leave it on the track and still, you know, get last place or second to last place or third to last place. You can't be afraid about looking stupid, okay? Because sometimes you're gonna look stupid, but it's gonna put you light years ahead when it comes to the end of the game, because your endurance, your stamina is going that much more than someone who is not willing to push themselves to the edge every time they go to practice or every time they go to a meet. So those are some things you need to consider when you're running these races, when your head is in the game. If you need to get amped up, hyped up, that's another thing. Like, another thing that really helped me go out there and give it my all was simply the fact that I knew it was my senior year. I didn't have much time left. And then on top of that, like, I knew that I wanted it so bad and I wanted to improve so bad. So I knew that to do that, I would have to give it my all continuously. So yeah, as you guys just saw, that was my 400 hurdle race. This next race, y'all, I was so worried, like, okay, because after school, I don't know if you guys do that where you're from or if you run track or anything like that, but you get on the bus and you ride to a track meet. Like, I'm the type of person, I like to prepare. Me specifically, like, I like to look at other people's times. Like, I like to know who I'm running against, like, where they're from, what they've been doing, how long they've been running. And there's this one girl in this race, it was her first time running a hurdle race, but it was not her first time, like, running track, and she was, like, extremely fast, y'all. Her name is McKellen. She runs for Western. I don't even know if I said her name correctly, but, like, she was really fast, and I, like, got scared, and I got in my head a lot. And so this is another race where the time wasn't as fast as it could have been or it should have been, because I was focusing on someone who was running against me when I needed to just be focused about myself. But the one thing I liked about that was that she and the girl who started in lane 1, oh my goodness, her name is Lindsay. She's 1 year younger than me. I don't know if she's committed yet, but she's an amazing hurdler, and she's been running for a long time as well. This was like when I was new to track, guys, so please don't judge me. I was talking to her, and because this was, like, I guess you could consider it a backyard meet, which is like a meet that's not really sanctioned heavily. We got to pick our lanes, and so I turned around and I was like, you know, what did I say? I said, what lane do you want? Like, I just don't want you to beat me or something like that. And she said, no matter what lane I get, I'm going to win regardless. And she's running in blue from lane 1. And the other girl, Mikkel, that I told you guys about, I believe is in lane 4. But again, letting stuff that didn't matter get in my head. Come up with a routine. And that's another thing that I think I did. I came up with my warm-up routine. I came up with my mental routine of what I needed to do before a race to make sure going into the race, I was completely focused and completely centered in my own energy, in my own realm, in my own world, so that I was able to channel that every time. Because what if you're running against somebody slow? Like, what are you going to do to motivate yourself to go fast? What if you're running against somebody fast? How are you going to not let yourself get nervous? Or how are you going to continue to put out your best time? That's something that you really need to think about and develop. So like I was saying in my other videos, practice is not just about practice. Practice is about making sure you have the routine and the tools you need so that when you get to the meet, you're able to perform, my words, just as you were in practice. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch this race. Lord Jesus, let me turn it down. I went over some of these hurdles crazy, but this start I was extremely happy about because I did not back off of that first hurdle. My arms completely crazy. Who told me to do that? I don't know. I really just did not want to get beat. So yeah, running scared was another thing. Your body knows the difference between when you're running scared, when you're anticipating, or whatever. And I kind of stutter stepped. One thing that really I think helped me decrease my time was that I was also able to alternate. So if you can in practice, work on giving your left leg and your right leg the same amount of time and the same amount of energy and amount of practice going over each hurdle, so that you're not as scared when you're approaching the hurdle and you're not stuttering. And yeah, don't be afraid. Like, hurdles, I think, and just running track overall is about not being afraid. It's about not giving up your race to someone else by letting them beat you before you even get out there to run the race. That's extremely important. Now, my coach also this year, the year where I was a senior, was not a hurdle coach. So that was another thing that I did have to overcome. And no matter where you are, I'm sure that you might be having some battles or facing some challenges that you might have to overcome, but it's totally and completely okay. Why? Because if you feel like you were meant to run this event, trust me, honey, you were meant to run this event, and you need to give it your all continuously each and every single day. So we had hurdles. There was one other girl on the team who had been hurdling since she was younger. She showed me a hurdle warm-up, and I just really had to become comfortable with the hurdles. That's one thing, again, that I want to really emphasize, is just being comfortable going over a hurdle, being comfortable approaching a hurdle and knowing that you're going to get over and it's going to be okay, because when you're running a fast race, you're going to be going over hurdles fast, you're going to be approaching the hurdles fast, you're going to be coming off the hurdle fast. And so that's another thing I would say to do in practice, is to do your spacing correctly so that you know the tempo with which you're going to run. 300 hurdles, you don't really have to run with the tempo, but as you graduate, go on to college to run track or go on to run professionally, which I'm sure if you're doing all that, you already know, but spacing is extremely important, and you have to get your body used to pacing yourself in between each hurdle, to run at a fast pace, at a controlled pace, at a pace that will give you enough energy to finish the race strong and on top. But just knowing what that feels like is super important to your muscle memory and everything else, to make sure that you're able to carry over your performance into a lot of meets. And again, in my other video I said about college, like, it's really about consistency in your performance. And if you're in high school now, what I would say is coaches want to see a consistent performance. Coaches want to see that you don't just run a PR, that you're able to continue with that time as you run in other meets that year. And to do that, that means you need to make sure you are doing everything you can do at practice and at meets, to make sure that you have a routine that keeps you on track to running at the best of your ability, to be quite honest. So this next race is from conference, and my coaches had put a lot of pressure on me to win the conference meet, and I think that was another thing that got me a little bit anxious. But as you can see, like, my hurdle form is kind of off a little bit. Because again, my coach, he was not a hurdle coach, but he said just get over the hurdle and run in between, because I do have a lot of explosive power that gets me out, and, you know, if I run the race correctly, can keep me going. So also during this meet, I don't know if you guys can really see it, but I kind of learned knee drive. My arms are everywhere, but like, I'm going into the hurdle with my knee lifted up, which gives you a bit of an advantage to someone who's trying to flick out and kick over a hurdle, especially when you get tired at the end of the race. So that knee drive really gave me a lot. And so in the race where I PR'd, I put everything together, like I said, because I was focused on myself, and that's the most important thing. The girl who beat me in this video was extremely tall, but that's besides the point. She did have an extremely good race. And so, yeah, I'm gonna keep scrolling in my photo album until I get to my next race, because why not? I have a lot of stuff saved, guys, so I'm sorry if this is gonna take me a little bit of a minute. And I don't even know if I have my best race saved on my computer, so I might have to send it to myself. But the next best race was at regionals, y'all, and it was only the top 4 can go to states. I don't know how it is where y'all are from, but where I'm from, only the top 4 go to states. So me and my coach had talked, and he was like, you have it in you. You can totally do it. There's nothing that you need to hold back on. Give it your all and know that that is enough. And that's another thing I want to take you guys to take with you, is that giving this event and every race your all is enough. Like I said before, when you give it your all, your stamina is going to push you to run a PR. It's gonna eventually all come together. So this next race, if you guys are watching, was at regionals. I got out extremely fast. Me and my coach would talk about getting to the first hurdle first, because it breaks the stagger. That's another tip that I would say to people who are getting ready to run 400 hurdles, or 400 hurdles or even 300 hurdles. 400 hurdles only if you know that you have the stamina and endurance to keep that fast pace in between the hurdles, but definitely for 300 hurdles. So I broke the stagger within the first hurdle, which was something that got me going and on a fast pace to continue it. Going over the next couple of hurdles, like I said, I was only focused on myself. I was in lane 1, so I only had a person to the right of me who had already fallen behind me because I had gotten it out so fast. So that was something else that made me comfortable. I know going over hurdles, it was a little bit uncomfortable to me when I first started getting into it, because I was scared that my arm was going to hit somebody else. But that's something else. Don't be afraid of it. Do not be afraid of that, because we're not going to get too tangled in each other. Y'all arms are small. We're all ladies out there, and I don't think anybody's going to hit someone hard enough to, like, throw them off of their race. Now, 100 hurdles is different, but 300 hurdles, you can definitely come back from anything. So that's another thing to keep in your mind. Never stop running the race. Always continue to push forward and run your hardest. But anyways, I was going over the first hurdle, got that, cleared that in front of everybody. Second hurdle, I'm coming in. I'm kind of edging up a little bit more on everybody else that is also in the stagger. And one thing thing I want to really reiterate is that you accelerate into the curve or kind of pick it up a little bit. So I started picking it up on the curve, which was really beneficial for me. And then coming out of the curve, that is the next most important place, whether you're running 400 hurdles or 300 hurdles, because if the stagger has not already been broken, it's going to get broken there. And whoever accelerates at that turn is going to, you know, see an advantage where they're coming out running down the straight. So I really accelerated and pushed that turn. I didn't even know where I was in the race because I couldn't see. Like, I wasn't even using my peripheral vision. Like, I was literally just focused on moving ahead, and that served me rightly so, because I came out first place, you already know, made it to states and ran a time of 45.98, even though I tripped over the last hurdle because, guys, for some reason I didn't really give track my all when I was younger, and like, I didn't really run stuff for my endurance. So like a 300 for me, especially over hurdles, would like kill my legs. I remember coming off the track that day and I was literally like, OMG, like my legs are completely dead. But I made it, y'all, and that was like one of the best moments of my life, because I just started running hurdles like 2 months before, maybe a month and a half before, and I did not have any coaching, okay? None at all. And I'm just saying that because it shows that if you give something your all, if you're passionate about it, and if you continue to work towards seeing yourself be successful in it, it is definitely possible. So on top of bringing my arms in, accelerating to the first hurdle, accelerating out of the turn, pushing myself to run hard every race that I had, getting a routine and practice mentally and physically down. Some other things I would say that helped me were was film. And that's something I really want to elaborate on, is the fact that the world is literally at our fingertips. I know our parents probably say that to us all the time, but it is totally true. Like, if you are interested in running track and racing and jumping, because I used to be a jumper, or even hurdling, like, use other people's film and look at them intensely. Look at the person that's winning, but not only look at them, but look at the person who's losing too, because you're going to see what the person who is winning is doing correctly and what the person who is losing is doing incorrectly, which is extremely important, because you can look at your own film after you record yourself and see, hey, I need to improve on this, I need to improve on that, these are some of the things that I need to do right and I need to do that are, or need to fix that are wrong. And that's something else that I really think gave me a strong advantage. I would record a lot at practice, I would record a lot at meets, and so I had that to go home and practice looking at and perfecting. So yeah, for now, those are all of the tips that I have on like how to drop 6 seconds in a race. Yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing to drop my time in college. Yeah, so like I said, from high school, my 300-meter hurdle PR was 45.98. Even though I tripped to the end, I was like, dang, that could have been 44. And if I had been running for an even longer time, like, imagine how fast I would have been flying. But no, that was my first year running hurdles, and then I had ran a little bit over the summer, not as much as I would have liked to, in 400 hurdles, and my PR there was a 106 coming out of high school. We didn't get to run college track this year because of Corona, but I am looking forward to running, and I'm going to do another video about my track goals for this year, because it is extremely important to me, and like I said, I want to have my YouTube to look back on this and, you know, really be able to see how much I've grown, see how much, track has changed from high school to college. You know, that's why I keep making videos about it, and helping other people grow with me. So if these videos are helping you in any way, shape, or form, I hope and pray that you continue watching them and you continue getting vital information to your race. And, you know, if you guys totally want to comment, you know, other videos that I should do or something like that, or anything that you need advice on or help with, please feel free to contact me, reach out to me, #Cash on Instagram, Twitter, everything, period, y'all. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and talk to you soon. Bye.
The other guy went like straight. Dude, went out. There we go. Oh, we got two. These are the best. Here we go,
Let's go, y'all.
Don't slow down, Ash.
I think her arm is just round. Let's go!
Ladies and hurdle crew, after these girls fast, please bring the hurdles up 2 notches. Make sure all